2024. And Peter Mutinda, who is the president of Asia Africa Chamber of Commerce, is still here with us to discuss this. And before we went for break, we were looking at the pros and cons of the lifting of the visa from all over the globe into Kenya. Now, let's continue. We're looking at some of the pros. What are the pros and also what are the cons? And then now we move to even trade.
Thank you so much once again. When you open up a country like this, you remove the restrictions, you remove the barriers, so to say, then that means anybody, everywhere, would want to come. And you know, Kenya is positioned in the tropics, so there's a lot of safari, you know, many things, attractions. So it is a glaring positivity that the numbers will go up for tourism. The people who would want to come, people who would come. In fact, sometimes it's just the excitement in the market about the information. Just that to hear, oh, Kenya is visa-free, that first move advantage, that excitement already will, if we were to get the details of how many people are searching Kenya, visa-free and all that, you see it's going up.
Yes.
Depending on how we shout, yeah? So it's a positive thing in that way, and that's you know, something that we can brag about. Well, that is a chain of many other things. So if many tourists are coming to the country, what happens? They are spending here, right? They're coming with their foreign currency. They're coming with dollars. The hotels, the booking goes up. What is that? Jobs. They're created in those areas. Probably even infrastructure, maybe other hotels to come up, and then roads needs to be built to those places. Yeah, it actually supports even devolution and financial inclusion. I know people talk about so much, because if they go to Masai Mara, that's Narok, right? Yeah, so they go there and they spend their money there, and the community that place benefits. Yeah?
Okay.
So it goes as a chain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's look at the cons.
Yes.
All these good things.
Yes.
But now on the flip side,
Yes.
on this other side, we're trying to look at the amount of people who are coming into the country. As much as they're bringing in the revenue and everything else, are we at a position where we can handle the data and also the capacity of people who are coming? And also, can the government come up with policies to control the amount of people maybe who are coming, or are there plans that can be put in place to look at this? Because everyone will be coming, and at the end of the day, now we'll have a problem of data storage and also how to manage the implementation of all this, and how we are going to make sure that at least we move forward and also get the revenue that we get. When it comes to this, what are your sentiments?
I'll start from your last statement, implementation. If you come up with a policy, and you know policies have been there all over the world and in this country, at the end of the day, what matters is implementation, execution. Yeah, that's the only time you'll be able to get the intended results. And I believe whoever sat down with the government, the president, whoever the advisors, his decision making, there's something he has to achieve. Right? But it cannot be implemented. It cannot be achieved without proper implementation.
Yes.
If we look at the first few days, there's been an uproar out there. People complaining of delays. Others complaining of, I saw somebody saying that, you know, it's a visa-free country. I used to come to Kenya, you know, I wouldn't pay anything. Now I have to pay $30. It's a complaint. Though
yes.
It's, you know, I never used to go to online to apply and all that. I would just book the next flight. There is all that, right? But like I said, the advantages outweigh those cries. So the main thing here is about implementation. Do we have capacity for that? Yeah. So when we say 72 hours, are we going to manage those 72 hours? How efficient is our systems, in that when everybody applies from wherever and wants to come to this country, how are we connected to the correct data sources to be able to vet and to say, you know, this is blacklisted, you cannot come for these reasons. Yeah. How are we going to do that? Yeah. The issues, historical issues like corruption, yeah, there is not Is there going to be a way of bypassing that? Because it was a very positive thing to say Kenya is a visa-free country, but you need to be authorized to come. Yeah, I think tick for that. But the question is this gonna be implemented so that you're able to vet properly? And that is where the bone of contention is. And that is what you're going to be watching. And that is where we challenge the government and all the stakeholders involved in this. In the few coming days, we need to see how this happens.
Okay.
Because it's the main issue that's going to determine. Security is an issue. Yeah, it's one of the negative sides, when people come who are funny. But it can be dealt with the vetting, right? If there were the days of COVID, when we had that pandemic, global pandemic, a country that is visa-free would be the one affected much, right? Because many people would be coming and all that. But these are what I call outliers. These are outliers. These are things that happen once in a while, and therefore it is a potential risk. That's okay, but it's an outlier.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now let's move to another issue.
Yes.
Trade. The outlook of trade in 2024.
Yes.
With now the issue that we've been discussing about. Now, when you look at trade in 2024, what is the trajectory? Because we had mentioned last year, you had spoken about the GDP growing.
Yes.
Now, when you look at this year, in 2024, what are some of the catalysts that are going to make trade grow, and in terms of trying to expand into different areas and markets that we've not delved into, what can we look at, and what are some of the different markets that we can look at?
Thank you very much once again. We can start with the government's policy about immigration, visa-free. That's one of the main things that is going to determine, or rather to have an impact, one of the factors that will have an impact in our economic growth this year. Because even those people are coming as tourists, it's easy for me to come to Kenya. They'll come. When they come, what do they find? Sometimes I even talk about tourism for weather, that people come in this country, and in your country you have to have air cons, right? It's hot out there. Or you must have those for your car, because of snow. Snow comes every time. Then you come here and you find the weather is so perfect and all that. You choose to probably invest and settle here. Yeah. So it's a sister and a brother, they're joined at the hip, tourism and trade. It's going to impact trade, and positively. Of course, we said implementation, we'll see how they do it.
Yes.
That's something that is a disclaimer. We'll want to see how it happens. But it's going to be affected by this pronouncement heavily. There are people who are not, in fact, tourists. They would want to invest. And everybody out there already knows that Africa is a growing economy, right? So everybody, investors actually are now looking into Africa. So when you look into Africa, then you look at where do I have less bureaucracy to go? And definitely you will think of countries like Kenya. Yeah. So it's going to affect that as well. Because whether they come through FDI, foreign direct investments, or whether they come in and set in their factories here to work from here, whether they come through franchising, whichever way, it's going to impact our economy positively. And we live to see how that's going to be handled. We keep on saying we have things like corruption can be dealt or will be dealt better than has been before. Yeah, because when an investor comes into this country, how clear is it? The procedures, the processes they should follow for them to invest. Those are things that needs to be checked properly, and the government has been loud about that. We hope it is true. It's going to happen, because that can really help our economy. But you asked about the trajectory. When you talk about what we're discussing about tourism and its contribution, or rather the visa-free thing and its contribution, you can also look at how it has been since COVID. We had a dip, right? We had a proper dip globally. Yeah. Then it's been going up. Normally, Kenya and most of the countries in Africa are affected economically during electioning year. Yeah, so 2022, we were there, right? A bit of a slowdown from COVID time. And we saw what happened last year. We said it's already at least on a positive trajectory. So my expectation is that 2024, it will continue going up. Yeah, with the catalyst of the visa-free things we are talking about, with the confidence the world is gaining in, with the less, political temperatures coming in left and right. We expect that would be the case. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we expect a positive trajectory,
okay.
Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Peter. We have to just come to a conclusion right there.
Yes.
That is Peter Mutinda, who is the President, Asia Africa Chamber of Commerce, speaking to us about the outlook of tourism and trade in 2024. Now, I'm going to leave you with this. The Ministry of Agriculture has warned that the country faces serious shortage of livestock feed